Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Water Wednesday. My name is Lawrence Campling, and I'm an information officer here at DWR. This month on Water Wednesday, we're returning to the topic of career opportunities in the water resources field, specifically careers that help protect human and environmental health. And today we have a really interesting presentation by Amber Sanchez, who is a water resources technician in DWR's Northern Region office. But first, some background for viewers who may be new to Water Wednesday. We started the series last year in response to the COVID-19 stay-at-home situation. Each Wednesday, we're joined by a DWR scientist or subject matter expert to learn more about California's water, our aquatic ecosystems, and more. Because of California's unique geography and hydrology, it's a huge and quite complicated subject. And we've had programs on water-related topics such as delta ecology, salmon, watersheds, flood risk, and how we get water during our hot, dry summers. Now, before I turn things over to Amber, I need to go over the usual reminders about how we use Zoom. Please keep your microphones muted so that we don't get interrupted by any distracting noises, and also keep your cameras turned off. If you have questions for Amber, please submit them in the chat function, which you can find via the word bubble icon at the bottom of your screen. And if you like, you can also activate the closed captions option by clicking on the captions icon. Okay, so now I'll turn things over to Amber Sanchez, who is going to tell us about the interesting and important work she's doing here at the department. Hi, Amber, welcome to Water Wednesday, and take it away.
Hi, Lawrence. Thank you.
Hi.
Okay, I'm just sharing my screen. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I went from the office to the field. As Lawrence was saying, my name is Amber Sanchez, and I am a water resources technician in the data collection and management section. I work out of our Red Bluff office, which is located about 130 miles north of Sacramento, and our region consists of the 13 most northern counties, with some slight overlap into Mendocino, Yolo, and Sierra counties. So just a little bit about me. In high school, I really enjoyed math and science, and I loved learning about human biology. But I knew I didn't really want to go to college after high school. I wanted to take a break and go back to college later and find something, probably go back into the medical field. So I had a few minimum wage paying jobs and nothing that I would have made a career out of until I started working for a title company in Utah. And I really enjoyed the work, and the company I worked for was great, and I thought that that would be my long-term career. But then in 2007, my boyfriend at the time, now husband, asked me to move to Chico with him. So I moved from Salt Lake City, Utah to Butte County, California. And at that time, there was a housing crisis and title companies were not hiring. So what was I going to do now? So I had a few part-time jobs in Chico, but we had just purchased our first home and I needed to have a reliable income, a full-time job to be able to enjoy the benefits of being a homeowner. And so I decided to apply for an office assistant position with DWR because I had the most experience in an office setting and I didn't need a degree to apply for the position. I started with the Department of Water Resources, Northern Region Office, in April of 2014 as an office assistant. I was in this position for 3 years, and I was lucky enough to be able to, being in the admin section, I was lucky enough to be able to have conversations with other employees about what they did throughout the Northern Region Office and learn about the several different projects going on. And it kind of opened my eyes and my mind as to what DWR does for the public and for California's natural resources. So I was really interested in more of the scientific aspects of collecting the data and processing the data. And I'd sit in the front office with the public coming in, and they were asking for their well completion reports for their personal wells. And I just started learning more about groundwater wells and the data collection side of it. And it was really interesting, and it applied to my scientific mind like I really enjoyed in high school. So in late 2016, there was an opening for a junior engineering technician. I applied and interviewed and was offered the position. So I began my new career path as, we call it, a JET, in February of 2017. So that was right after the Oroville spillway incident. And I was able to be a part of the initial response crew, helping the spillway monitors keep track of their timesheets. So as you can see, I went from having a couple of responsibilities to even more responsibilities as a junior engineering technician. So being able to be part of the Oroville spillway incident, I was able to talk to even more DWR personnel and learn even more about the work that's done at DWR. So just a little idea of my job duties as a JET, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that I promoted just this year to a water resources technician 1. So as a JET, or a water resources technician, in the data collection and management section, we collect annual groundwater level measurements. We also assist with water quality sampling, water transfer measurements, fulfilling data requests for the public, looking for information on their wells, the depths, the gallons per minute. I've also assisted with surveying and other projects as needed. So one of my main duties is fulfilling data requests from the public. So they will call, email, fax, or come into the office, and they are looking for their well completion report. They would like to know, so just some general information. They usually just want to know like the borehole information. So that's how deep the well was drilled and how deep the well was completed. And also the depth to first water and the estimated yield in gallons per minute. So when these come into our online database, I just check them for completion and making sure that they have all the information filled in before they are submitted onto our public online database. Here's the water quality collection and sampling. Just a couple different ways that we collect the water quality at the Northern Region Office. So here, these are called hydrosleeves, and we drop those down into the well casing. We let those sit for 1 to 2 days. They are attached with these spools, and then we come back and we pull them up and we collect the sample. Here's Another way that we also collect the groundwater for water quality is these are attached to pumps down into the well, and we purge the well. And then after the samples are collected in these bottles, we are able to filter right there in the field. So what is a typical day in the field for a Water Resource Tech 1? So my main duty in the field is collecting groundwater level measurements. We collect this information by measuring with still tapes or electronic sounders. And it's performed by putting the still tape or the sounder in the well casing and measuring the water level below ground surface. So we currently measure over 1,000 wells in the Northern Region office. We measure several types of wells, but the three main types are domestic, irrigation, and dedicated monitoring wells. So here's an example of what a dedicated monitoring well looks like inside the can. There's anywhere from 1 to 5 completions, and each casing is set at different depths to measure the water levels at those depths. Here's just a simple diagram. As you can see, here's the main borehole, and then each casing is placed at a different depth, and then it's sealed off with some sort of sealant or barrier. The project I was on, they used bentonite chips to seal off the zones, and then they used gravelly sand as the filter pack. Dedicated monitoring wells are only used for monitoring groundwater. No water is pumped out of these wells unless it's for the water quality aspect. And I'm sure you're probably wondering, what are those cables sticking out of there? Those are connected to continuous data loggers. So they are set up to take a measurement once every hour. And after we've collected our hand measurements, we then collect the TrollComms, which is this device here. And we download the hourly data. So we also compare the hand measurements to the current level the data logger is reading to ensure that we are collecting good quality data and that there's no drifting going on, that the data logger is reading a different level than what the water level is actually at the time. We then process the data in the office, and here's just kind of this is kind of a broad range. It's about 1.5 years. And so you can't see each individual point, but that is there's a point on every hour. And so you can kind of see how maybe pumps nearby are affecting it, or the season. And then right here is typically the wet season where the groundwater level goes up. And that data, after it's processed in the office, is posted onto DWR's website. So a favorite thing of mine about this job is getting to go to all these different beautiful places. Like I said, I didn't grow up in California, so I did not know that there were pelicans at an inland lake. And so, of course, I had to stop and document that picture. Just getting to see all these beautiful places that you don't typically get to see without landowner permission, because it's not always public land that we're going on to. And then my least favorite thing would be working in the field when the temperatures are above 100 degrees. As you can see, it gets pretty hot here in July and August. And this photo is, we were trying to locate a well and the casing was right at the ground surface, and we finally found it. And so I had to take a picture and document it. So that's not one of my favorite things, but sometimes the search can be fun. And then last, here's just a couple of photos from projects that I was able to assist with. I had never been near a drill rig. I saw them from the highways, but I never knew that's what I was looking at was a drill rig. And so I thought it was, it was cool to see the entire process. Here they are installing casings into one of our dedicated monitoring wells. And then this is just the setup before this has all of their this has their drill bits on it and their, and sorry, the columns to drill the well. And then this was, like I said, the Oroville Spillway. So that is how I became a water resources tech.
Well, thanks so much, Amber. Really, really interesting work there. And we've got a few really really good questions coming in from folks. And my first question actually is, what are we seeing behind you there? Your background, what's that a photograph of?
This is an old rundown drill rig. It's like the drillers were there to drill. It's kind of stuck in mud. They were there to drill the well and they couldn't get their rig out. And so they just left it there. And there's actually a well that we monitor just on the other side of the drill rig.
Cool, that's great. Well, let's see some of the other questions that have come in. Your job sounds really complicated. Was it difficult to learn how to do it?
No, I've actually been doing this work for about 4 years now. So it's gradually been learned. It's not like they throw it all on you at one time. So very fortunate.
So I think you mentioned how the groundwater goes up. Is it dramatic how much the groundwater level can change depending on the weather?
Depending on the zone, I would say. I'm not a geologist, but what I've noticed is that the shallower zones, because they are more connected to the surface water, that you'll see a difference in the shallow zones before the deeper zones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're working with other people quite a lot. I guess you're never really out there alone. Is that something you enjoy about your job, the teamwork? It sounds like it's a sort of a teamwork kind of a job that you do.
Yes, it is. And I have a great team that I work with. So I'm very fortunate.
You must spend a lot of time on the road together, huh?
So, oh yeah, we spend a lot of time on the road together and have great conversations. And
so it helps if you will get along.
Yes.
Yeah. So you didn't really know anything about the whole subject of California water when you moved here from Utah. Had you ever heard about how complicated it is and how extreme it can be with floods and droughts?
No, I did not know anything about California water.
So that must have been an interesting journey.
Yeah, it has been. It's been, and just not coming from an area where there's not much agriculture to living in an area where there's a bunch of agriculture. And how do they water their orchards? Groundwater, and I had no idea.
Is it mostly agriculture? It's a mixture. You're out sometimes in the wild, right? And sometimes you're out there in the fields, both?
Yeah, both. Yeah, we do have residential wells that we measure also.
How deep are the wells that you're
They range anywhere from 40 feet to 2,000 feet, and sometimes deeper.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, here's an interesting question. Do you ever find anything strange in the wells? Anything surprising?
Yes. Sometimes there are dead animals that crawl into the live animal has crawled into the casing and has essentially drowned in the water.
Oh,
And so, yes, sometimes there are.
you have to get them out.
Um, Sometimes the casing's not big enough to get them out, but yeah, we have had to dig, and I haven't had to personally, thank goodness. But coworkers have had to dig the eh, fur out of
Mhm.
water.
And somebody asks, how many wells do you yourself check every year? You mentioned, I think, that there were thousands of wells in the area that you survey.
Yes, so I personally measure probably, well, myself and another coworker around 300 to 350 wells.
Wow. Uh-huh. What would you say is your most favorite part of the work? I know that you said you were very interested in the science and the statistics and the data part of it. Are you most happy when you're out there in the field, as long as it's not 100 degrees, or are you most happy when you're crunching the numbers back in the office?
I think I don't consider myself type A, but I might be a little bit. I like the data to be correct. I want the public to have the most accurate data that they can get. And so when I'm processing the data and I find that there's an error, it's like, okay, why? Why is there an error? And I dive into it deeper than anybody has ever gone before. And I eventually find the why. And then once it's fixed, I feel better and I can move on to the next well. But I do enjoy being out in the field and being away from the office. Like it's a good mix of office and field time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, what do you see as your future? And do you imagine that you'll be staying with the department and exploring other avenues of work related to water in California?
Um, I I thought about possibly taking some geology classes and maybe furthering my career and possibly becoming a geologist, but we'll see. I have two, as you guys saw, I have two small children, and so I'm kind of busy outside of work also.
I'm sure you must be, yes, especially recently with them being
Yes,
home. Yeah,
being home, yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So what else? Let's look at the list and see what other questions have come in here. Um, Let me see. So, oops, I just lost my screen there. What advice would you have for people who maybe don't know what direction they're going to take in their career, whether it's college or not? And specifically, what advice would you give or encouragement would you give that there are ways to find yourself in really interesting jobs without necessarily knowing where you're going to go ultimately, or knowing whether or not you want to go to college or not? What advice would you have for somebody, a young person just starting out?
Um, Ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you find yourself, I know for me personally, it's really hard for me to just approach a stranger and talk to them. I slowly have to get to know them. But if you're comfortable approaching people in different careers on the side of the road that, have their hard hat and their vest on, ask them what they do. The more questions that you ask, the more knowledge that you're going to gain, and you can always find a career, or maybe not a career, but maybe a job that will lead you into a career just by asking questions.
Right. I imagine that you must feel very fortunate that you've connected with a career that is really meaningful. I mean, you're interacting with some subject matter that's really important and kind of kind of urgent today. We hear a lot about the changing climate is going to make our challenges around water even more extreme in the future. So would that be true that you get a lot of satisfaction out of that connection to meaningful work?
Yeah. I didn't know I was passionate about water until I started working in water.
Mhm.
Um, I live in a city, I turn on the water and water comes out of my faucet.
Right.
And so I don't growing up, you didn't think twice about where your water came from. And now that I am an adult and I'm working in water, it's like, oh, okay, well, my city water uses they have groundwater wells, and so they do use groundwater. I haven't researched how much groundwater they use, but I do know that they have the wells around the city. And so I'm also getting my
Mhm.
water from groundwater.
And you just don't take that for granted anymore. Like
No, I don't.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks, Amber. That was very interesting. Congratulations on all the work you're doing.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone for joining us online. Now, if you're interested in learning more about DWR, please visit our homepage, water.ca.gov. And if you're a teacher or a parent with kids at home, we have lots of links to numerous kid and teenager appropriate water education resources on our website at water.ca.gov/education. And from there, you can also access our water education materials order page. And all the materials are free to residents of California. At any one time, DWR is engaged in dozens of programs to sustainably manage the water resources of California. So to stay up to date with what's going on at DWR and find out about upcoming Water Wednesday presentations, please follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So we'll be back next week to meet another DWR worker doing valuable work protecting our water supply. That's Nick Hansen, who is a water treatment operator with the Central Sanitation District. And we hope you can join us then. So until then, have a good week and stay safe. Thanks for watching.